Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Homestuck Epilogues streams. Welcome, Aleph. Welcome, Sneakcat. Welcome, Odd. Welcome, Eben. Alright. We are here. I am glad to see that you all enjoyed the Nick Cage song. Wait, Toby Fox wrote that? God. Why am I surprised? Easily could have been a Hustier madman, but instead he told us to learn empathy. Yep. Undertale's a good game. I should stream that again sometime. But, you know, in a long while, because I think the queue is getting a little long for, new things. Okay. What am I doing? Let's see here. We forgot that he made the babies you. That is true. Oh, Sneakcat, you didn't know? Ugh. Wholesome indie funny man now. Yeah. Toby Fox made the baby is you. How could we? How could we forget about the baby is you? Fucking tragedy. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. We're heading up to... We're on chapter 33 of 41. We're getting real close to the end. I got a feeling we're gonna finish next weekend. So... You just pushed it out of your mind. That's true. I haven't listened to it in such a long time. I remember, okay, this is a very explicit memory. It's Fan Expo 2012. Fan Expo is this ginormous convention that happens at the Metro Toronto Convention Centre every year around the end of August. So it will be 7 years ago this year. It's this weekend, actually. Well, not this weekend. I mean, like, it's next. It is the weekend. It starts next Thursday. Words. You push the... God, fucking... Don't apologize, Odd. You're so valid. Okay, KO, and that gets Homestuck levels weird. Yeah, okay, KO, I've seen a couple of interesting things about that have kind of piqued my interest, but I would have to sit down and, like, get caught up on it, and I just, have other things that I need to be doing with my time right now. But that does look very good. Individual weird-ass episodes. I saw some lesbians... casual lesbians in OKKO on my Twitter feed. That and the Steven Universe episode, or the one that it was like Steven Universe and like one or two other Cartoon Network shows. They did that like collaboration thing. I thought it was okay. I'm sure that the other actual episodes of the show are better than the weird collab episode. But yeah, what the fuck was I talking about before? I was talking about something else, right? Fuck. It's one of those days, folks. Except I feel like I say that literally every stream, so, you know. You know how it is. Oh, Enid is bisexual. It was confirmed earlier when she smacked a bi pride flag on her motorcycle. Nice. Fuck yeah. Alright. If anyone remembers what the fuck I was talking about, then feel free to let me know, but otherwise, I do not remember. Yeah, I'm just looking at what Aleph sent. Oh, you would like to get on with the Homestucks. Yes, I know. We do need to start doing that eventually. You're asking the wrong people who always forget everything immediately. I know. My attention span? I don't know about that one. Should catch up considering you're going to have to watch the episodes during the streaming event of the year. Ooh, what streaming event would that be? Makes you happy. Oh, bubbling! Yeah. I also need to get caught up on Adventure Time. Okay, so here's the thing. I love Adventure Time. I've seen a whole bunch of episodes from it, including, like, clips and things and all that stuff. I've been slowly amassing the DVDs of, like, every single season, except for season 8, because I don't think that one's on DVD yet. Or season 8 plus. Did it get 10 seasons? I don't know why I feel like it got 10 seasons. But yeah, I feel like I've talked about this before. How I keep starting from the beginning and then getting off track and then starting from the beginning again. Streamiversary. Ooh, sweet. We got a pal having a streamiversary coming up. I see. So you're doing... so I was watching a whole bunch of stuff together. Cool. That looks like fun. How much is shipping to Canada? A lot. It's actually, well, it's not that bad if you don't use priority. I'm trying to think about my adventures in buying things from people on the internet. You binged it after the finale came out. Yeah. Oh, you stopped watching years ago before the plot got intense and couldn't pick it back up. Yeah, I mean that's kind of similar to where I sit with it, because there was a point in time where I was actually kind of keeping up with it, but yeah, it was years before all the Flame Princess stuff. And then I remember seeing all of that on my dashboard, and like when Flame Princess like happened, everyone was all excited, and I was like, oh, I should get caught up on that. And then the same thing happened when there was all that stuff about like Betty and Simon. Still don't know what the fuck those two names mean, but everyone was very excited. So yeah, I still don't know what the fuck is happening with that. And Infinity Train. I should watch that at some point. I do need to watch that. Yeah. Right now, what I need to be doing is I'm trying to get caught up on all my podcasts. I'm almost caught up on Good Morning Night Vale, and then I'm going to get caught up on actual Welcome to Night Vale episodes. And then I am roughly 11 episodes behind in the Perfectly Generic podcast. I fell off the train somewhere in June. I just got a bit behind, and then I left for camp, and now we're here. So, made by Bad Brain Gang. I know. Well, see, here's the thing with me and podcasts. I listen to them mostly on my commute to school, which, you know, classes are starting in a few weeks. Oh, God. But, you know, so during the summer, it's kind of like, but I have some, I've entered another Sims modeling competition, and I have some photoshopping to do, to polish up final image that's due on Monday, I think. And so listening to my plan is to start trying to get caught up on the Perfectly Generic podcast while I'm editing. I'll listen to it while I'm editing, because that's always a good time to do that. I tried to check out new music today, and it ended very badly. Long story short, I didn't check the titles in the playlist, and a song started with sex noises, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And it was bad. It was a bad song. Yeah. You can't focus on... Yeah. Yeah. I just... On the bus is, like, my... It's primo podcast time. But, yeah. Although, I got a phone call a couple days ago that was like, hey, did you remember that you have a specialist appointment next Tuesday? And I was like, no, I didn't. Thanks. So now I have... I'm going to have to do a whole bunch of transit to get to my specialist appointment next Tuesday, so I can get caught up more during those bus rides. The comics. Yeah. Oh my god, I had... Y'all... My cabin group for our 12 to 14 week of campers this summer, it was a group full of 13-year-olds who were fucking obsessed with D&D and loved the Adventure Zone so much. Oh my god. Yeah, one of them brought like a couple of the comics, and they were sharing them, and they were constantly reading, they were constantly drawing, and they played D&D at like every cabin time every day. It was fucking adorable. I love those kids so much. But yeah, I was just like, was kicking myself for not getting into it, because it would have been a really good point of connection. And I just, it's interesting and I want to get into it. But again, I'm very behind on my podcast right now, so I need to put anything new on the back burner. Next time you go to Barnes and Noble, it's all over. You're going feral, and that's a fucking threat. Okay, I'm gonna have a sip of water. We're gonna soak up this beautiful conversation between John and Rose. Okay. Encouraging them to socialize more with their session instead of in your Homestuck hole. I mean, I actually did have this year, the first week of camp. It was it was 15 to 17-year-olds, and I had a cabin full of 15-year-olds, and I actually was able to connect to them on the fact that we both read Homestuck. It was really interesting. One of them, made a thing in the craft barn that looked like Gamzee, and it was the creepiest shit I've ever seen in my life, and it was just, fucking bonding time. It was good shit. But yeah, it's really great that they're connecting on this, and the D&D specifically, like, every week we had our one counselor, my one wonderful coworker who was the one person who knew what the fuck they were doing and knew how to DM, did like a D&D workshop, and it was a huge success every week. Yeah. It's really awesome to see them like getting into it and like bonding, and they'll talk about their characters together, and it's like, yeah, bonding, friendship. Yeah. Okay. I miss D&D. I haven't played in a very long time. My group had to go on hiatus because our DM got a new job with a really wild work schedule. One of these days, it will come back soon. Okay. Now I'm going off on my own little tangents. It is time for Homestuck. 33. John looks up to see Rose waving at him while hanging out the hatch of a troll cruiser. John tries to smile at her, but all he can muster is a really weird, queasy expression. Rose looks glad to see him anyway. She drops to the ground where the modest cruiser comes in for a landing. When, not where. She drops to the ground when the modest cruiser comes in for a landing, followed out, regrettably, by her daughter, Vriska. Shit. John flies up to greet them more quickly than he would ordinarily in a situation where he wasn't trying to divert his friends into her teenage daughter. Okay. First chapter of the night. Let's try that paragraph again. Shit. John flies up to greet them more quickly than he would ordinarily in a situation where he wasn't trying to divert his friends and her teenage daughter's attentions away from a couple making out in a bush. He dips forward like he's going in to hug Vriska, to her apparent surprise due to his historical complete lack of desire for any physical contact to be made between them, but instead uses his momentum to spin her all the way around so that her back is facing the cursed shrubbery in the distance. Whoa! Hey, old man! Hey, Vriska. Hey, Rose. Nice to see you both. John and Rose appear equally surprised themselves when Vriska hauls him in to seal the deal with a crushing hug of her own. Haha, geez. Hi, Vriska. Hi, John. This is great. Just great. Hey, why don't we just go over here to talk for, no reason at all? John, true fucking hero, trying to keep them as far away from that noise as possible. That absolute fucking nonsense buffoonery. Okay, if that's what you want. Oh yeah, it's the thing I want the most. The view on the other side of this ship is just amazing. Trust me. Rose cocks an eyebrow at him. Behind her, the bush releases a strangled, lusty honk. Was that... Never mind. Vriska, why don't you go help your mother with the deployments? Ugh! I can't believe I have to actually listen to you now that we're at war. Run along now, dear. Thankfully, Vriska heeds her mother's command and heads back to the cruiser. Rose tries to glance back towards the source of the suspicious honk, but John pulls her behind the ship, beyond audible range of the activity taking place in the offensive bush. On this side of the cruiser, troops are departing the hold in single file efficiency. They're all decked out in full Alternian military garb. It's the cool Tron-looking stuff with the luminescent cording that matches their blood colors. Rose is wearing it too, John notices, in black and lavender. He gives her a concerned look up and down, then holds out his hands, palms up. So, I guess this war is really happening? Oh, is the connection fuzzing out again? Yeah, Stream Health just, is looking steady right now, but sometimes it just, total fucking nosedives out of nowhere and then pops right back up. One day I'll have a better internet connection. Maybe one day I'll even have a wired internet connection. Can you fucking imagine? A wired connection? What a beautiful thing. Yes. I understand that you don't want to be involved, and I respect your decision. However, I wanted to speak with you before we left. Oh, thanks. I actually appreciate that a lot. I think I would have been pretty bummed out if you went off to your potential doom without saying goodbye. Now that I think about it, that's how this all started, isn't it? You were so sick that it looked like you were dying, and I was about to leave on a perilous mission. But now, here we are. It's almost like the circle of stupidity is complete. Rose laughs. Don't be ridiculous, John. Nothing is complete. There is no true ending or beginning in this scenario. Haha. Yeah, right. Because this is real life, right? I guess reading narrative relevance into a bunch of dumb and totally random events is kind of dumb and childish. No, that isn't what I meant at all. By all means, apply a narrative to our lives. Up until a certain point, it would have been perfectly accurate to do so. But not anymore. Because it's not canon, right? Do you remember what I told you years ago about the 3 pillars of canon? John strokes his chin and thinks very hard on this. Maybe too long, because Rose sighs and taps the bridge of his spectacles. No is a perfectly valid answer to that question, John. Quite frankly, I don't remember most of that stuff either at this point. I know it is truth, relevance, and essentiality, and, that's all I got. I just didn't want to make it look like I don't pay attention to your wordy philosophical babble. I philosophically babble rather a lot, or at least I used to. It would be unfair of me to expect you to retain nearly 3 decades of oblique technical jargon regarding the metaphysics of the reality in which we inhabit. Wow, we've known each other a long time. Yes, we have. Well, it would be more accurate to say that we both have and haven't known each other a long time. As I explained to you on that morning 16 years ago, there are 3 critical features of canon: essentiality, relevance, and truth. Yeah. We have been untethered from the mooring of truth for some time now, so while we, in our subjective experiences of conscious perception, feel in this moment that we have known each other for a very long time, technically it's not true at all. What? Wait, she lost me. Fucking mood, Aleph. Oh, God. What the Yeah. Why is it technically not true? Why? Contemplating the vastness of that statement makes John feel suddenly very small and sad. He shuts his eyes and runs a hand through his hair. Oh my God, Rose, it's too early in the day for this. I agree. And besides, that's not what I wish to speak to you about. John, look at me. Rose wraps her narrow hands around John's arms and pulls him gently towards her. He cracks his eyes open to see her face glimmering in the late morning sun. Her eyes are glossy and bright in the gleaming light. I want to thank you. For what? Didn't I fuck everything up by not going to fight Lord English? It's my fault we're all living in this meaningless hell world where everyone's vaguely out of their minds and we're all about to go to war over freeing prisoners from the whipping cream camps. Their reality is longer than the actual canon narrative. Fanfic took 33 chapters to tell insert number of years in the lives. Okay, yeah. I think I understand that. I think I am grasping that with my brain. Yeah. Their reality being longer than... Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh, whatever. The war is just as irrelevant as everything else that's happened here in the last decade and a half. At least with a conflict, we have something to do, something to strive for and against, something to believe in. I'm thankful for that. But more than anything, John, I'm thankful that I got a chance to be happy. Rose pauses meaningfully, as if the realization is falling into place as she says it. I never thought I would actually get to be happy. Rose, you weren't happy before? when you married Kanaya before you got sick? When we were all together? Yeah, I kind of, okay, before I continue on. Like, I kind of understand the sentiment here, but also, like, maybe you can be striving for and against something that doesn't involve a hellish fascist regime. You know what I mean? Rose shakes her head. She brushes past John, out towards the open field, away from the brewing battle. The land is so flat that it rushes out to meet the horizon, uninterrupted for miles and miles. Rose is a pale flame against the brilliant haze of a perfect Earthsea morning. John doesn't follow after her. He lets her compose herself privately, with her back to him. She clasps her hands in front of her and raises her head to look at the perfectly blue sky with its perfect sun and its perfect clouds, unmarred by the dark storm brewing on the planet below. In complacency of the... She corrects herself. In the silly wizard story I wrote when I was a child, the realm most comparable to heaven existed in a state of subliminal conditionality, dependent on the ancients in science, because my brain is looking at this and seeing the word science in there, but I don't know if that's actually how that should be pronounced. Yeah, Rose and John depression hours. Oh yes, it is real Rose and John depression hours. Okay, I'm just gonna like pronounce it a certain way and like hope it's correct. In the silly wizard story I wrote when I was a child, the realm most comparable to heaven existed in a state of subliminal conditionality, dependent on the instance of the individual experiencing it. Which is to say that it would cease to exist the moment you realized what it was. And so, those with knowledge could never truly be happy. I know, right? She's just like... Yeah. Right, her friends are late. Yeah. She's just like, silly wizard story. And it's like, well... John looks at his hands. The same hands that held Harry Anderson when he was a baby. The same hands that tore up Tersey's photograph just a few hours ago. The same hands that remember steadying Rose on her sick bed 16 years ago, and the shaking feeling they'd awoken with that morning. A subharmonic symphony that can only be heard in the bones. All things that remain true to him. Knowledge of what came before his choice, and then after. There are things that he can't forget, that he won't forget. Is this the reason he's felt like this for so many years? But that isn't me anymore. I am blind against the veil of this world. It's all ambrosia to me. I don't care if it's not true. I care even less if it's not canon. I have a beautiful wife who I love more than I thought possible, and a daughter who I am immeasurably proud of. It can all be senseless, ephemeral noise that dissolves in the void, a whisper swept up by the wind before it's uttered. I'm still grateful to have felt this way. So, John... Rose turns around, smiling. The smile is calm and honest. Her eyes are perfectly clear. There is no other word that could possibly do justice to her expression. She looks happy. Thank you. She comes forward to give him a kiss on the cheek. John wraps his arms around her shoulders, pulls her into a tight hug, and breathes in the scent of her hair. Whatever the truth of the matter is, she still feels tangible and real to him. What does it mean to be real anyway? Around them, the first wave of bombs start going off. Bright pinpricks of light and dark flash and flame out, leaving a nanosecond of absolute dead silence in their wake. John's laughing when they part. They're enveloped in a cloud of smoke and dirt so thick they can barely see each other. Despite what Rose said about there being no ends or beginnings for any of them, it feels very final. And in that moment, he thinks he understands. Finality was always up to him. He finally decides to allow it. Yeah, so Rose is basically just like, I don't care about if things in the canon sense are true, or, you know, if this is true or canon or one of those things or neither of them. This is the reality we're living. Shit happens. I have a loving wife and kid. I am freed from the illness collapsing my brain. So thank you. And it's like, damn. Yeah, and I think, you know, John finally... finality was always up to him. He finally decides to allow it. He fell into this, I feel like his depression before this decision it morphed into something a little different after. Because after he made that decision, the narrative through this whole thing has just been, I made that decision, all of these horrible things are happening, and it's my fault. I have no control over this. And of course, that's a huge part of depression too, is feeling like you don't have any control over your situation. So he's finally like, hey, I can, you know, finality is up to me. I can take control of some shit in my life. And it's like, damn, John, I am looking forward to this redemption arc. The moment that was out of my mouth, I was like, Gamzee. No, wrong words. I was mostly joking about the redemption arc in the first place. But then, like, the words flew out of my mouth before my brain could, like, stop them, and I'm so sorry. But what I mean is, I'm looking forward to the continuing arc through the rest of Candy, where John gets his collective shit together and, like, talks to Roxy and, like, does all, and it's like, Yeah, I have a beautiful wife who I love more than I thought possible, a daughter who I'm immeasurably proud of. That's why Candy is her favorite. Slow burn until that magical point. Yeah, it is really wonderful to hear Rose talking about her wife and her child and how happy she is with the life that she's built for herself. And it's like, damn. Shed a single dramatic tear because I fucking love Rosalind. And it makes me so happy to see her. Just that whole conversation was really good. I was really looking forward to that chapter. Okay, so this is... Okay, an entire conversation between Vriska and Harry Anderson that I completely forgot happens. Okay. We'll do this one, and then it'll probably be break after this. I'm just gonna have some water first. Hey! Oh, I forgot to do that. Pardon me. $34. Hey, Harry Anderson, guess where I am? What? Who is this? I can't hear you. Vriska cups her hand around the receiver of her phone and shouts over the artillery barrage. It's me, idiot! The hot babe you're lucky enough to have gotten to second base with. Oh, hi, Vriska. What's up? I implored you to guess where I am. Based on the horrible racket in the background, I'm gonna guess the battle outside the city? Ha ha! I told you my moms were gonna hook me the fuck up with a sweet military commission. I'm officially in the rebellion, sucker. Ugh. I'm watching the battle out my window right now. Are you sure it's safe for you to be out there, Vriska? I kind of hate it if you died before we got to third base. These fucking kids, I love them so much. Pfft, yeah, whatever. I'm basically immortal, bitch. What? No, I don't think... no. I'm gonna breeze through here like a high money roller getting the sweepstakes at a blackjack table. You should probably actually gamble once in your life before you try to make gambling metaphors, babe. Because that was dire. Excuse you, but Tavros totally snuck me into Uncle Jake's poker game last month. It was immoderately lit. Wait, are you still hate dating Tavros? Yeah? Why wouldn't I be? Aw, man, he's so pathetic. Yeah, that's the point, Harry Anderson. And this is more, just, don't. Pulls again every time she's mentioned as interacting with Tavros. That's about how I feel right now. And then the fact that they both go on to just fucking hate on him. And I'm just like, y'all. Tavros and every single iteration of Tavros deserved so much fucking better. How do you stand kissing him? He's so weird and always mysteriously sticky for some reason. Please tell me you haven't gotten to third base with him. A girl does not kiss and tell, Harry dearest. Okay, well, as long as you don't touch me after feeling up his weird, clammy body. I'm not going to get a chance to feel either of you up for a while, considering I'm now an important baller in Karkat and Mina's badass revolutionary army. Oh, I asked if they could squeeze you in. They said they were just out of openings. Sorry, dude. Lol. At least John and Jake care about him. I know, at least they do genuinely care about him. Did you just call me to brag? What else is going on out there? Ugh, who knows? Oh, your dad is here. What? I thought he said he didn't want anything to do with the war. Yeah, well, he says that, but he's here right now and my mom's saying a bunch of gay shit to him. They're hugging and reminiscing about how old and sad they are or whatever. He's here right now, my mom's saying a bunch of gay shit to him. It's a good fucking line. Oh, right, it's fucking Harry Anderson's birthday. Oh, boy. Huh. What? I really thought my father might come see me for my birthday this year. Well, them's the breaks, kid. Man, you can be such a shitty girlfriend sometimes. Maybe I'm inspired to be a less than ideal mate spirit when I'm in the presence of weakness. Ever consider that? Unbelievable. Hey, I'm just fucking with you. Don't be such a baby about it. It's a total turnoff. I'm sure your dad cares about you very much. Maybe chill out? Yeah, whatever. He's always getting all weepy whenever I talk to him anyway. I don't think I could have I don't think I could have taken another round of him choking back tears while apologizing to me about what happened with me and your mother, Harry. I mean, God, he's not even fucking drunk when he does this. That might actually be the most embarrassing part. Yeah, LMAO. Now that you mention it, I think he's actually crying right now. I think I can overhear... Wait. Vriska stops trying to eavesdrop on John's blubbering for a moment. She's distracted by another noise. She whips her head around to detect an all-too-familiar sound echoing above the post-bombing silence. It's a sound that she knows from hard-won experience can mean only one thing. There's a clown nearby. Can someone please remove the teens from the active war zone? I know, right? Like, I think at this point, it's just Vriska being a teen in an active war zone, by which I mean literally both Vriskas. And John said, oh, that's right, John, was it Rose or John? One of them said 16 years ago, which means that Vriska, Mariam Lalonde, Harry Anderson, and Tavros Crocker are all 16 years old. So if Vriska is also still 16, then they are the same age. But yeah, someone please get the children out of there. Because, like, Harry Anderson and Tavros Crocker are, like, up watching from above, like, I'm assuming the same ship that Jane's in. So they're likely relatively safe. Way up in the air, for the time being, at least. But yeah, Vriska's, like, literally chilling out, breathing in the fallout from bombs, and it's just like, hey, Harry Anderson, what's up? Oh, God. Okay, here we go. I think I hear Gamzee? Gamzee? My Auntie Jane's Gamzee? Yes! Who else could I mean? He's around here somewhere. So what? I see him every day. He sucks. So what? He's like Jane's left-hand man. No, he's neutral, remember? That's not how Commander Vantis feels. He said he's a total bastard, a traitor to his kind. Yawn. Did stream die? That's a good question. Are we still going? No. Okay. It is time to motor through the rest of this chapter. I'm almost done, and then I'll do the break, and hopefully things will even out by the end of break. The dust is beginning to settle around Vriska's ankles. She scans the tree line and brings all her attention to bear on this curious rhythm of noises coming from nearby, beckoning from the underbrush. She pushes toward it through the thorny shrubbery. There's a bounty out for his arrest! Damn, they'll probably put him in front of a tribunal if we can get our hands on him. Oh, I changed my mind. This sounds good, actually. Invite me to the execution, please? Oh my god, this fucking kid. Me too. Don't think we've had a full-on stream death in a while? That is true. That is true. My internet's been pretty good going, but obviously we're not allowed to have good things for this long. What if the Vriskas do a twin switch impersonation arrangement so they can both get the accolades for anything they do? One has to... Oh, true. No, wait. When Vriska god-tiered, she got her arm and her eye back. So, I mean, I guess technically they could do that, but it would be really, really immediately obvious which one was which. I don't think they could hold up each other's acts for very long. If I could capture the high fucking priest Makara, they'd promote me to, like, third in command of the whole joint. Fuck yeah! Well, good luck with all that. Call me if you want to hook up after the battle. Naturally. John's wiping a tear away with his sleeve when he catches sight of Vriska, innocently wandering toward the very bush he'd just abandoned Vriska to sort out her confusing exhibition of unexpected and deeply profane lust. Now that the battle has stilled, he can overhear the vile melody of the blasphemous union. There's that noise again. I knew I wasn't imagining it. Oh no. No. Vriska, wait! Don't! John runs to intervene, but it's too late. Vriska pushes aside the last of the fronds, separating her from her quarry with a triumphant ha! Vriska's huge, mischievous smile freezes on her face. When her eyes pass the image to her brain, it finally makes sense of this incomprehensible jumble of gray limbs, blue and purple slop, tangled black hair, and stunned faces, her expression begins to slowly melt. It then drifts quickly from phase to phase to one of wonder, then anguish, then finally abject horror. Oh God. Vriska and Vriska both start shrieking at a pitch John only ever heard one time before. It was a sound that once accompanied the end of everything. A sound once heard the night he dreamt in anime. Yeah. So... this is the chapter where Vriska and Gamzee have a conversation. So I'm going to spend break skimming this over so I can summarize it and we don't have to read it because we don't need the technicolor details of all this. Okay. 5 minutes. Hopefully my internet will continue being steady. I think it's steadied out now. Hopefully it continues to be that way. If it has steadied out, and if it hasn't, hopefully it gets its shit together over the next 5 minutes while we have a little break. Back in 5. Hello. I apologize for my lateness. I left my bedroom for a split second and immediately got in a conversation with my dad. So, I did not actually have the time to scan that chapter, so we're gonna do that together. Let me get caught up on what the fuck happened in chat here. Gamzee is the only person in all of Homestuck who is not gay, depressed, or valid. Okay. I posted the death penalty, but I'm gonna make sure that Gamzee is executed. Ooh, friends and theories. Since Precious Baby Cargo is a mind player in Boulder's heart, they both seem to have very potent, that they are the Muse and the Lord. Yeah, that is a really interesting, theory that has been tossed around. Marvis is the wicked and the divine deity. Oh, I still got break text. Get rid of that. Alright. So, 35. Let me skim this here. Okay. 35. While John dealt with the sight by immediately turning and walking away, and the Earth Vriska dove into a nearby bush for safety, Vriska is contending with her predicament through willful denial. She's resolved to do everything in her power to prevent herself from thinking about the situation directly behind her. It is a situation which, if she could bear to look at it, would strike her as the precise intersection between the most humiliating moment of her existence, an unprecedented circus mishap, and a gruesome crime scene. Her attempt to ignore the unspeakable catastrophe behind her may nearly have worked, if not for the reminder provided by the many fresh bloodstains on her shirt. Not only stains of her own familiar cerulean hue, but others of a most unwelcome color mingling with them. A color she never imagined she'd see contaminating her cool and casual ensemble, and certainly not in a context like this. Her attempt to distract herself, to delay the inevitable engagement with her poor judgment, would not fly for much longer. Sooner or later, she would have to turn around and confront the fact that she just kissed a very smelly clown, head on. Okay, skimming... Skimming, summarizing her whole fucking life. Nothing can compare to... Yeah. The moment she stuck her tongue in the heinous mouth of that frisky, unwashed jester, she began jackhammering through the stubborn concrete of rock bottom like she was digging up the corpse of a mob snitch. Whew. Read the first issue. Okay. So. Gamzee wants her to snuggle. Thinking about Vriska. She shudders. Somehow, during her self-incriminating reverie, she'd forgot to mention she's not even Vriska anymore. She's now Vriska. She scans the bushes and spots her, the 16-year-old girl who'd somehow earned the right to call herself Vriska, the adopted teen daughter of Rose and Kanaya Merriam Lalonde, the person who, for all anyone knew, might be an exact genetic double of Vriska herself. Not that she had any grounds to object. She missed her shot, snatched the shame from the jaws of glory, and washed up on the shores of this candy-coated shithole of an approximation of what a paradise planet might look like to certain individuals. The small sob she'd been stifling finally comes out. Tears cut through the oily, shiny mask of blue, purple, and mud on her face. So now Gamzee is soliciting more intimacy. I know, he's 45 and Vriska's still very, very young. This whole situation is awful. Fuck Gamzee. God, I fucking hate that guy. Yeah, oh yeah, no, that's true. There has been a resurgence of Dirk and Caliborn shipping. And y'all, I have not read it, but House of Dirk? Or House of Dirks plural? I'm not sure which one it is. But that AU is really fucking popular. I think that's Dirk Caliborn, right? Like, the summary is something about it being like a sitcom. Yeah, I haven't gotten into it, but I've seen it a number of times, both recommended and like people doing like fan art of it and like all this kind of stuff. It's very popular right now, and I know that it is like Dirk Caliborn, and their neighbors are John and someone. It's very good. Okay. I should actually read it sometime. Especially while it is regularly updating. I usually I'm very hesitant to read fics that are not already completed. But this one has a good track record of an active author at the moment, so You asked a question, it caused Dirk to break the universe. Okay, yeah. I will put it on my tentative to read list. I do have a lot of things that I need to get caught up on, but none of them involve reading, so I could use a little bit of reading. Just read the first chapter to get a feel for it. Yeah. It's illustrated too, right? Because I know I'm pretty sure I took a look at it for like one time and then I backed out because I don't know. Wasn't what I was looking for at the time, I think. Oh, you forgot. You forgot what? What's up? I'm just gonna keep skimming. So, Vriska's like, hey, shut the fuck up. And Gamzee honks. And she's like, did you hear what I fucking said? And let's see. Oh god, he pulls out the fucking baby bottle like it's a... It is mostly illustrated, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, Vriska pins him to the ground and is like, nothing happened here, nobody's to know about this, you piece of fucking shit. And now he's typing something on his phone. He's telling Karkat. Vriska's reasonably upset. There's lots of anger. They're fighting. No one's gonna know about this. Where does she get violent? Alright, here we are. I'm just gonna start right at the part where she starts murdering him. Chat disconnect. Oh, for the love of... Dirk and Cankry? That sounds like a fucking nightmare. Caliborn sings for a full page is not a spoiler, it just sort of happens. Oh, wonderful. I'm down. You know, that immediately made me think of the page. Oh, fuck, what was it? It was... Oh my god, it was the end of the fucking Gigapause, wasn't it? We had that 1 year break, and we came back to... No, we came back to Homestuck. Which one was it? It was a long break, and then we came back to Caliborn playing the fucking piano on the sound effect setting. Relevant threat. Oh, what's going on over here? Oh, Argus. It's loading, it's loading, it's loading, it's loading. That's not promising. Okay, there it is. Finally loaded. Dirkry sprite squared. Oh, it's a thread about Dirkry. Dirkry. That's... Yeah, sprite. Ooh. Okay, Woo, stream health is looking not great. Let's just finish this cursed ass chapter. And, continue. Okay. Vriska drops down and straddles Gamzee in a way that is unmistakably non-amorous, even to an extraordinarily obtuse Randy Juggalo. She puts her shaking hands around his neck and grips tight. She positions her face inches from his, hissing hot breath through her clenched teeth. No one is going to find out about this, you fucking bastard! No one will ever know, so help me God! Vriska is so furious she has no way of pinpointing the exact moment her intent stopped being intimidating him into silence and started being guaranteeing his silence forever. She knows this imposter was never a real god tier. She's always known, just like everyone else. Once he's gone, he'll be gone for good. She just needs another minute. Her grip grows tighter and she feels the throbbing pulse beneath her hands gradually subside. His arms flail, grab at hers, clutch at her wrists. He's alarmingly strong, but at this particular moment, not as strong as her. And then she lets go. His face is frozen in a repellent mask exhibiting the perfectly undetectable difference between terror and ecstasy. He is dead. Vriska exhales forcefully, staggers to her feet, shaking. She backs up a few steps, studying the corpse. If her body language signals any remorse or sadness, the witness in the bushes certainly can't tell. Eep. Oh shit. Vriska had already forgotten about her somehow. Her stylishly dressed teen duplicate, who surely just witnessed not only the original feat of debauchery, but all the compromising activity which followed as well. Vriska would probably need to have a few words with her. Gamzee took the L. Fuck that guy. I was gonna say rest in fucking peace. Rest in fucking pieces. Plural, actually. P-I-E-C-S. See, what is verbal spelling? I'm not even gonna fucking try. My brain is, like, not functional today. It's not a good brain day. I've been zoned out for most of the past few days. Ugh. Yeah, rip in hell. Indeed. Fuck that guy. Vriska stands up slowly from the bush, obviously trying not to look at the lifeless clown. She puts a hand behind her head and seems to be casting about desperately for the right thing to say during such a moment. But soon it's clear she's given up. Vriska doesn't blame her. She can't imagine there being anything in anybody's life that could adequately prepare them to have a snappy response ready for a situation like this. Hey, sup? Oh my god, this is the one with John and Jake. I love this chapter so much. So this was the section that was written by Aysha Friendsim. Oh my god, I love this chapter so much. Okay. There's all that fucking garbage hell, and then there's this beautiful spot of sun. Ugh. 36. The moment John caught a proper glance of Vriska and Gamzee going at it in the bushes, he was dumb. He was done. He simply had no further capacity to deal with any of it. He just fucked off. God, I remember the first time that I read this. I read this, and I was like, big mood. I wish I could do that right now, because I was so fucking done. The only valid chapter. Not the only valid chapter. There's also the conversation between John and Roxy that follows. A few hours of aimless wandering through the sky brought him back here to his old house. He hasn't lived here for He hasn't lived here in years, but it feels exactly as it had when he last left it. It's like no time has passed at all. John leans back in his dad's desk chair, stares at the ceiling and listens to the sound and listens to the war. Wow, my brain keeps like inserting words that are not there. Didn't Aysha Friendsim's dad write Karako? Father. Oh my god, you forgot Father's name. Understandable, quite frankly. But yes, Geezy, as he is credited in the in-game credits, is Aysha's dad. And yes, he wrote Karako as well as Father. Our good clown boy and our good communist boy, indeed. The steady drone of weaponized airships up above has become so commonplace in everyday life that he barely even notices it anymore. But now he focuses, trying to pick out the individual sounds. No matter how hard he tries, he can't tell which ship belongs to which side or how many there are. He doesn't know whether they're coming or going. Rose, Kanaya, and their daughter are probably up there somewhere by now. The washing machine chugs along in the next room. In John's experience, troll blood is incredibly difficult to wash out of clothes. His t-shirt is probably going to be Vriska colored for the rest of its life. Somehow, no matter what, he always seems to end up back in this house. It's been through the medium in 2 different universes and come out of it with only a slight warping to the foundations. Everything is coated in dust. He hasn't bothered to turn any lights on or change any of the bulbs that have burned out over the past few years. He thought he heard someone moving around upstairs a while ago, but he didn't go up to check. He hasn't gotten up for how long has passed? He has no idea. Creak. God, this house is rattly. It could be a wild animal up there. It could be a thief. John doesn't think he has anything he'd regret losing. At least not anything he hasn't already lost. Oof. That man wasn't a clown. Karako is wonderful. I fucking love that little clown fellow. His dad's study looks the same as it had the day he moved out. Figurines, jauntily hung photographs of famous funny men, even the dent in the floor from the time Rose dropped a safe on a bunch of troublesome imps. He'd always meant to hire someone to fix it. He just never got around to it. It's the perfect room for a slow-motion existential crisis. If that's what you can even call whatever it is he's going through. Maybe it's not so much a crisis as a critical cessation of his ability to give a shit. That's the depression, yep. Where an hour ago he'd been feeling blissfully unburdened by his solipsistic revelation, now the significance of everything's insignificance overwhelms him. He wishes he could find comfort in the frivolity like Rose has, but it's impossible for him to delude himself. If nothing matters, what is the point of doing anything? Where is he supposed to go from here? How do you figure out how to fill your time when you have all of a meaningless eternity ahead of you? He's not sure why his brain thought he'd find an answer in this place. He swivels back and forth in his father's desk chair, staring listlessly up at the featureless white expanse of the ceiling of the study. His mind runs in exhausting circles until he dozes off to a lullaby of distant sonic booms. When he's jostled awake, it's by a figure that looks uncomfortably like Dad? As John blinks away the sleep from his eyes, the man looming over him comes into focus. It's not his dad. It's Jake Crocker, who actually is his dad, but in a far more esoterically bullshit way than the man who used to fill this study with pipes and black licorice. John sits up straight in the chair and rubs at his eyes. Jake? What are you doing here? How are you here? Did something happen with Jane? Oh, nothing happened exactly. Just thought we would pop in for a bit of R&R with an old pal. Isn't that right, Tav? Jake scrunches up his face in the same way Harry Anderson does when he's lying. Across the room, Tavros Crocker fumbles his grasp on a particularly hideous, fanciful harlequin. One of its pointy shoes snaps off. Cripes, sorry, Uncle John. I'll replace it. It's fine. That's actually just a piece of garbage. We are all just Gamsey poisoned. Yeah. Because all of the Friendsome clowns are so valid. Except for Marvis. Marvis isn't valid. You know what? Marvis is not valid. Gamsey dies and they immediately flee. Probably a coincidence, but damn. True. I don't know why I hadn't made that quite that exact connection. But yeah, I mean, like, Gamsey probably was acting as, like, kind of a second set of eyes for Jane to keep Jake and Tavros in place. Marvis and Chahut are not valid. Chahut, I think you're just excuse you. I just said Marvis is not valid. I was about to say, I don't know. I think Chahut is valid. But I'm also really gay, so. Although I never got on that train. I never got on the sexy clown train. I don't have a thing for Chahut. I just think she's got a heart of gold somewhere in there. You're just horny girl. See, here's the thing with Marvis and Chahut, okay? Chahut had horniness projected onto her. Marvis is just an inherently horny character without the projection. Without the fandom projection. Marvis is a what? Chahut literally kills you. Well, yes, what the fuck is a tanky? I know it's like something to do with political things. I think yeah. Tanky is a political stance. I know that for sure, but I don't know why I don't remember what it is or why you would say that Marvis is a tanky. Yeah, Chahut makes you a human sacrifice. That is true. You're not explaining this. It's, yeah, that's fair. The answer to the question, what is a tanky, is fucking Google it. Okay. Marvis isn't horny, your character chooses to sniff their armpit. I'm sorry, even if you don't choose the fucking sniff armpit option, both of the cutaways and different endings involve various really uncomfortable, like, pretty descriptive pseudo-fetishy type scene things. They're straight up fetishy, really. There's, incredibly graphic descriptions of you being, like, hand-fed grub loaf, or you defecate, and he's just like, yeah, man, it's chill. Let's hug it out. And it's just, everything has, that whole route, everything has incredibly horny overtones. Not undertones, overtones. Okay? Also, yes, MSP Redo does fuck an alien. That happens. Y'all. It's uncomfortable as hell. He just carries you to clown church? And then the universe ends. That is one ending. That is the interesting part. That is like the one good part of Marvis's route is that one ending. Can we please stop talking about clowns? That's true. I should actually read the fucking story. But yes, if you need a refresher with footnotes, my initial original stream of Marvis's route from within a week of it coming out is on my YouTube channel. And I cover every single possible ending. Okay. Back to the story. John thinks he might still be dreaming. Though if his subconscious were controlling the scene, there would be a few alterations. Aren't you cold? I am, in fact. These old duds. Jake snaps the elastic on his pair of red underpants. It's the only thing he's wearing. Well, you see, Janie bought all my other clothes. She had a certain way she liked me kept out, and, well, I didn't want to bring anything that belonged to her when I left. Nothing she, might miss. You took me. Jake winces. And you took you. Jake's wince deepens. Yeah, man. Can't really hate any of them when Doc Scratch exists. I mean, true, but also I still really hate Zebra. Yeah. There's a lot happening there. But, Monkhamsy and Zebra are the three canonically horny characters. Holy Ghost Son. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I feel like there's more than that. But I'm gonna let y'all sort that one out. I'm gonna keep reading. Then I dare say I made the right choice not rustling the bushes in the making off with inanimate objects department. Wouldn't want to give her any more reasons to get all retributive. She's got a lot to worry about right now. Incredibly busy woman, you know. Over by the desk, Tavros' eyebrows have disappeared up under his bangs, but he doesn't say anything. He has the air of a boy who has spent all of his life not saying anything. Sorry, just fucking glanced down at chat and I was just like, whoa, boy. Okay, so, I guess I'm just gonna move past the fact you're 90% naked in my house. I'm not forgetting about it. We've got to address that at some point. But I guess we can put that on the back burner for now. That's a mood. Sometimes there's just so much going on. You're just like, this is a lot. But we just we'll come back to that in a second, okay? Are you trying to tell me that you left Jane? Whew, when you put it like that, it sure sounds, well, I suppose that is what it looks like, isn't it? What I did, that's the thing that's looking like that. Whew. Jake is one whole wince now, and John knows he should invite him to sit down and maybe offer him something to drink, or at least a pair of pants. But all this is another reminder of how inescapably preposterous every aspect of this reality has become. So I guess this is the thing that's currently happening now. What exactly do you want me to do? Well, I suppose I was hoping you might be willing to help me and wee Tavi out a bit here. Help you out? John produces a dry laugh. That's pretty funny. I remember trying to help you for years, and you never seemed that you never seemed that interested back then. Oof. Okay, so chat's getting a little heated. Just gonna let y'all duke this one out. I will moderate and just let y'all have this argument. Where am I? Oh yeah, I know. That's the salt in the fucking wound, though, my dude. Like, it's so like abusive relationships are fucking tricky, and that's just like. You know, I mean, they talked about it in early Candy. Can't really make someone leave if they don't want to or they aren't ready. And it fucking sucks. Jake was apparently not expecting John's sharp tone. He flinches back like a kicked dog. Or a dog who has been kicked so many times he assumes any helping hand is a slap. All the same, John finds it hard to feel much sympathy. Who is Jake? The one standing in front of him now anyway. Has he always been this contemptibly pathetic, or is this too a function of the absurdity of this contorted reality? It's hard to be sure. Are Jake's struggles worth any more of John's guilt and emotional energy than a sim stuck in a pool without a ladder? Harsh. Look here, chap, sometimes not everything is so simple. It isn't as if I could have just walked out the door whenever I wished. I mean, yeah, you kind of could have. Not now. But years and years ago, back before everything got so warlike and tempestuous, I was gonna say stupid, but yeah. Well, it's not as if Janie got like this overnight. None of this happened overnight, John. It's just like you go to take a dip in the water and everything starts out cool and fine, but then it just keeps getting hotter and hotter. Gradually. Degree by degree, so slowly that by the time the water's boiling, you don't even realize you're being scalded alive. John isn't listening to Jake anymore. He's looking at Jake's son, who has returned to going methodically through the stuff on his desk, moving objects around, looking like he wants to shrink down into nothing. Tavros, who looks more like him than even Harry Anderson does. Something in John's stomach churns. Oh yeah, technically, John and Tavros Crocker are genetic brothers. Something in John's stomach churns. The ridiculous fate of this facsimile of his friend is one thing, but Tavros... If things really are the way they seem, isn't he John's fault too? Did his reckless decision really author a child just for it to suffer? John finds himself feeling a little sick. Are you guys, I don't know, hungry or whatever? I think I have a frozen pizza. No, you said that right. Yeah. Yeah, it's, yeah. It's rough. They're really complicated situations. Aleph, what the fuck did you just... Yep, that is a canon panel. He brings them into the kitchen, which still has all of the old appliances from decades ago. The stand mixer, the automatic can opener, the milkshake frother. He never uses any of this junk. It clutters the place up, and he should have cleaned it all out years ago. He just kept coming up with excuses for why he had to leave it as it was. John has never been much of a drinker, but fortunately Jake English is never found without a bottle these days. Oof. He's got a 40-year-old whiskey that he grabbed on his way out. Apparently, his unwillingness to steal from Jane did not extend to her liquor cabinet. Tavros takes one look at the bottle in his father's hand and heads upstairs. Maybe that's for the best. It's getting hard for John to look straight at him. Big oof. Bigger oof. Studied under the Searchmaster himself. Okay, I'm staying out of whatever the fuck's happening in chat right now. Continuing to stay out of that. I'm sorry for being, I don't know, a bitch. It's just been kind of a rough forever. No offense taken, chap. Whiskey? As you may know, I'm not in truth the biggest fan of the stuff, but it gets the job done right quick, eh? John accepts the offered glass and takes a sip. Regardless of the existential status of this reality, the alcohol tastes just as harsh and bitter as he remembers it. Jake swirls the rocks in his glass, looking queasy despite his proclamation of tolerance. John, do you think I'm a bad person? That's certainly not a question John ever expected to hear come out of Jake's mouth. He hadn't thought him capable of that degree of introspection. Wait, what? Do you think I've ruined my whole entire life and all of my relationships, and especially the most important relationship in one's life, the divine and unbreakable bond between a man and his son? Not sure if I'm the best person to talk to about this, considering I kind of did the same thing, but no, I don't really think that. It's not as if anything that's happened to you is your fault, like, existentially, or, like, even non-existentially. I guess even in straightforward, non-metatextual jerk-off terms, it's also not your fault your wife was treating you like shit. It may be all my fault in both an existential and non-existential capacity, so I wouldn't sweat it too much either way. Eh? What do you mean? I don't think you'd really understand. All I'm saying is, you're alright, I think. I think you're doing the best you can. I don't blame you for anything, Jake. Jake grimaces. In the dim kitchen light, his 5 o'clock shadow looks like a bruise. Oh. Excuse me. I am just a wee tired. I fucking love Roxy and Jade too, and that's gonna be my only contribution to this conversation, is I fucking love Roxy and Jade too. Big mood sneak cat. I wish I could tell you hearing that was a load off my mind, John. The me of yesteryear probably would have drunk to your health and exclaimed, "That's grand, old chap! Now I'm off to wrestle with a robot and engage in dalliances and whatnot." Except I would have been drinking flat cherry coke back then, probably. Gren left an astounding amount of cherry coke behind when she died, and it took forever to get through it all. That's pretty gross. Different strokes for different folks, I suppose. Anyway, my point is, maybe you should blame me? Maybe I need someone to blame me. For once. please don't start writing call-out posts for characters in chat. That's where I'm gonna draw the line on this one. Please don't pull out the fucking receipts on these characters. I would also like to add that you can have made a few mistakes and still be a good person. Also gonna put that out there. Huh? I think I'm starting to realize that I've been going through life with the mindset that nothing has ever really been within my control. Maybe it's been the people I surround myself with. Janie always seemed so sure of what was right and what she wanted, and one of those things was me. I don't think I ever really tried to challenge her, not when it ever mattered. And before her there was Dirk. Whew boy. Dirk would have written me out an annotated schedule for every minute of my day if I'd asked him to. Or, especially if I hadn't asked him to. Dirk, maybe it's best if we don't dwell too much on that. The two of them share a moment of obligatory silence for someone long dead and gone. In a way, I think I found all that comforting. Haven't you ever wanted to let someone make the tough choices for you? John wonders if everything being out of his control would make him feel better. Even if he weren't presently stuck sucking on this bitter cosmic red pill, he can't imagine being particularly happy with this world state. Maybe it just would have made it all the more soul-crushing. Or maybe he's doing exactly what Jake has always done. In a certain light, isn't describing all this mess to some unconscious influence he might have had over the metaphysical shape of reality just a way to brush off his simpler failures as a man and a father? Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I'm starting to think I've been a bit of a fool about it all, though. It's easy to shrug it all off when it's just your own life being jostled about. But this is all something I should have been thinking about when old Tavi was born, isn't it? Too little too late. I have not done right by that boy at all. Even now, all I'm doing is making excuses for myself. Phew. It's hard for John to disagree. It probably wouldn't do much good to say it, though. It's not like John wants to torture the guy, whatever the status of his realness attribute. Jake, I guess I actually don't know you that well, but I think there's a difference between making excuses and just giving reasons. There's reasons for what you did, sure, and I guess you can think of it as an excuse, but that's only if you don't make the effort to start trying to fix yourself. And I mean, okay, look, you left. You're doing it. You're making it happen. You got your son out of there. Better a decade late than never, I guess. You're right, John. I did do that, didn't I? Nobody swooped in through a window and rescued me. I did it myself. I finally stood up for what's right, and I'm going to make way for a new and better me. I have my immortal life ahead of me. There's no point in sitting around hating myself and regretting the past. Sorry, I'm just getting caught up in chat. Because as much as I'm staying out of this, whatever the fuck's going on, I am still moderating. Okay, continuing on. John's mouth opens and closes dumbly. That's it? I thought it would be harder to convince you. Jake grins, and the effect is incendiary. It's brilliant. His glee is lighting up the room. John blinks. It's literally lighting up the room. A faint but steady glow pulses from Jake's body, radiating like heat from a fire. John can't help but recoil a little, like a vampire in the sunlight. He wishes bitterly that it could be so easy for him to just forget all his fears and regrets and forge forward with the honest, dumb conviction that if he just tries hard enough, all his problems can be chased away. Hey, don't implicate me in this. I'm moderating, but I will not make any final decisions. John. Oh, whoops. I skipped down a little bit. Golly, John, Gee willikers, do you hear that? Do you hear that? Music swells out of nowhere. For a moment, John thinks the ridiculous noise is coming from Jake, too, but he quickly pieces together that Tavros must have found the old record player upstairs. Jake sets his untouched glass of whiskey aside and starts tapping his fingers on the kitchen countertop, his aura of hope pulsing brighter. Then, with a dignified flourish, he raises an arm. John. Yeah? Take my hand. What? Why? Jake snatches John's hand and pulls him in, catching him off guard. John floats, an instinctive reaction to when he's knocked off balance. Dance with me! Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry, just doing another check-in with chat. This is not the sort of jazz you dance to, and it is definitely not the sort of jazz you waltz to. John isn't sure there is that type of jazz. Jake leads relentlessly, but it's the glow of his ridiculous god-tier magic that brings John down enough for his feet to touch the ground. Whether John wants it or not, there's something inescapably infectious about Jake's senselessly optimistic energy. Even if they do end up stepping on each other's feet, gambling around like newborn giraffes, who cares? What's the harm in a little dancing? I'm excited, John. I haven't been excited in such a long time. It's just so great to be out on my own. Here with you after so long. You and me and Tav, gosh, we're going to make such a team. 2 Crockers and an Egbert. A cracking good comedy to be sure. Heck, perhaps I'll take my good old name back. Who knows, maybe Tav would want to be in English too. This place is a bit smaller than we Tavi is used to, but I'm sure we'll make do. You want to move in with me? Oh, yes, I suppose I ought to run the plans by you first before letting my imagination run wild, eh? I'm sure I could find somewhere else to stay, but I must say I do feel much safer bringing Tav up with family. Jake launches into a real doozy of a spin, which John supposes may well have knocked the last of his sense out of him. Sure, why the hell not? Did the stream freeze? Yeah. No, it's starting to come back. Slowly. Slowly. I think I'm just gonna keep reading. Jake gives John a twirl, which sends him spinning across the floor in his socks. He stumbles and falls over, which is a bit of a comical display with his windy reflexes. It makes Jake laugh uproariously. Being flung from Jake's orbit of hope and change is a little like being dashed with a bucket of ice water, though. All of John's gloom and malaise surges back to the fore like air filling a vacuum. He feels hungover. Ugh. John lies immobile on the floor tile. Jake draws up to look down at him in confusion, striking a pose that is both dazzlingly modelesque and doubtlessly completely unintentional. Eh? What are you looking so glum for there, chap? Oh, you know, the usual. Do you need help getting up? Nah, I'm cool down here, on the floor. Yeah, sometimes it just be like that. John Edgeworth. You know, John, maybe we'd ought to embark upon this journey of self-betterment together. What do you say, my boy? What? I got my tabby out. Have you been thinking about making amends with Roxy and such? Maybe give her the push she needs to get out herself? Not really. And why the hell not? Like I said, you wouldn't really understand. I don't think there's really much of a point in me trying to talk to Roxy. She's not what? John hauls himself up to his feet and moves to the living room. Jake follows, but John now... Yeah, I did read that correctly. In conclusion, read my Tumblr about page. God. That... Okay. Okay. John hauls himself up to his feet and moves to the living room. Jake follows, but John now ensures that there's a healthy enough physical distance between himself and Jake's black hole of psychic optimism. You can't rightly go and blame the woman for all your troubles, John. I'm not blaming her at all. Then what are you saying, Johnny boy? John sighs and drops down on the couch. He stretches out so Jake can't take the seat beside him. That even if I could talk to her and try to set things straight, why bother? She may not even be, real, strictly speaking. Eh? Like I said, you wouldn't understand. Trust me. It's all a whole lot of crazy stuff. John, you're just fucking depressed. Oh, that's just the depression talking, my dude. Why even bother? Making up reasons? Why even bother? Why even bother? That's just the depression talking. You're right. That is an awfully crazy thing to say. Not real? Why, I just saw Roxy yesterday. She's as solid and real a person as you or I, John. It's hardly becoming of a man to say something so dismissive, even if it's tough to know what a lady is thinking from time to time. I'm not... What's that now? I fucked up too bad too long ago. It's just too late to change anything now. There's the real reason. Nothing to do with being real or not. This is the root of the matter is this. Yes, he's doubting the realness of everything, but that is the crux of the matter. So what? Huh? So what if it doesn't change anything? Won't it matter to your family to see you care? Won't it make you feel better to try To at least be able to say that when the chips were down, you gave it your honest all? And what about Harry Anderson? Do you really want to go the rest of your long life knowing you never tried to be the father your son needed? Hearing the name is like a blow to the chest. Little Harry Anderson. His son, who he held and fed and taught and raised into a young man. Despite it all, he's always been so unbelievably proud of that boy. If Roxy isn't real, then his son must be even faker. Something about the thought makes John feel more rotten than anything else. Maybe it's some aspect of his basic biology buried down at the core of his lizard brain that makes him want to reject what he knows is true. The allure of denial, of anesthetic hope radiating from Jake's epically sculpted body, is difficult to turn away from. My word, John, are you crying? Jake, do you have Roxy's number? Yeah, boy! Call Roxy! Okay. So, it's 1:04. Chapter 37, we will have to sink into next week. Next Friday. Next Friday, we should be able to make that one last push to finish off. If not, then the day after that, Saturday, should be the day. Hold your horses, actually. Let me double check my calendar. Okay, Friday, Sunday. I'm going to have to do Friday, Sunday next weekend because I have an event on Saturday. It's going to be a long fucking day and I'm just going to I'm just going to be very tired and want to go to bed when I get home. So, Friday, Sunday next weekend. Dancing with Shovel in the pale moonlight. I hope that you've all had a good time this stream. I think there was definitely some interesting conversations going in chat today. If you would like to continue that, we always have our little Discord server. Yeah, alright. Indeed. So, that is all for tonight. And that's all for this weekend. Remember, next Tuesday is back at Dream Daddy. We've got a little filler thing. A little day in the neighborhood. And then we're back to picking our next date. So, yes. Dream Daddy Tuesday. Friday, Sunday for epilogue streams next weekend. Should be the last of the epilogue streams. I think we're going to finish off Candy. It's been a lovely stream. Well, I am glad you have had a lovely time. Yeah, that's what the next week is looking like. That's all for me for now. I will see you all again next Tuesday for Dream Daddy. Have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever you may be getting up to. Thanks for hanging out. It is my pleasure. And also, that is a fucking awesome emote. I agree. Yeah, thank you for hanging out. Fingers crossed. I will be seeing you all right back here again for Dream Daddy on Tuesday. If you can't make that, then come right on back for epilogue streams, our grand finale next weekend. My end of things, that is good night, and Homestuck Volume 6 will play us out.